Today is Wednesday, it's the 13th of April 2022, and as you might have guessed, I'm on my own today. I've just dropped Anita off at our son's house and I'm heading towards the airport to pick up our daughter Serena and her family. 4 of them, so Anita doesn't fit in the car, so she's gone to set up everything there, and we're going to have some lunch at our house. The weather's changed yet again. It's been so unpredictable over the past few days, well actually the past month or so. We've had lots of wind, lots of rain, and we've had a few bright spells amongst it, but it's raining again today, so if you hear a little bit of a squeaky noise in the background, it's my windscreen wipers just moving the rain spots. So yes, Serena's flight looks to be on time. She's flying from Bournemouth in the south of England. It looked as though it was delayed a little bit taking off, but only a few minutes, and hopefully they've caught that up. So I'm just timing my my drive to try and get there more or less as they land, and give them a little bit of time to get off the plane. And once they've got off the plane, they have to go through passport control and get passports re-stamped, and then they go through the health check areas. So Serena hasn't filled in the health check form on my recommendation, so let's hope it all goes well for her. All she will be bringing with her is her national health check, national health certificate to say that she's been properly and fully vaccinated, which means she's had both jabs and the booster. If you've only had both jabs and you've not had the booster, be a little bit careful, because the second jab runs out after 270 days, and you need to get the booster. Currently the booster doesn't run out, so as long as you've had your booster, that's good forever, or until they change the rules, which they will one day. Talking of rules, our mask rule is still in place, so we're alright outside, no masks, but as soon as we go inside, we have to put the mask on. So I'll have to put my mask on when I go into the airport. They will have had to wear the masks on the plane, and it all changes as of the 19th, so on the 20th, assuming it's passed, and I think it will be, then on the 20th we don't have to wear masks in most indoor spaces. It's still not all though. Places where there might be some vulnerable people, like hospitals or nursing homes, you still have to wear a mask there, and public transport as well, where you'll be in close proximity to other people. So masks are more or less going, but it's only more or less. So that's from the 20th of April. So the last few days of our family's visit will be mask free, so how exciting is that? I've got a few things planned while they're here. We're taking the older boys to watch the football and away match, but we're going to watch it in the Mallorca cafe, so they can get a bit of the atmosphere there. But on Tuesday we're taking the 3 boys and Leon and his friend. We're going to go to the ground to watch the Alaves match, and the ticket prices were reasonable then. So when it was Atletico Madrid, it was 180 euros for the seats in our area. Alaves, 30 euros. A difference, isn't there? 30 euros, 180 euros. When Real Madrid were here, it was 250 euros for a ticket. So some people obviously pay it, but I wasn't prepared to pay that sort of money. So we're taking them to the Alaves match. I'm sure they'll enjoy that. We've actually got some front row seats, so that looks pretty cool as well. We've got Pirates organised. Again, that should be lots of fun. So we're going to see the Pirates Adventure. And something else we've got organised. I can't remember. We've been organising so many things. But the most important thing is really to have everybody together. So I'm going to the airport to pick them up, and I'll take them back to our son's Adam's house, and he's ordered a paella from the local restaurant. So we'll have a big paella and catch up before Adam and his family depart for the airport again in order to fly off to Holland. So then we'll just be left with the other grandchildren. So I was at the airport the other day picking up Lara and her family, and it was really quite busy. Good to see the airport so busy. A bit of a queue of cars to get into the airport. A lot of the people seem to try and avoid paying any car parking charges. It's not expensive if you time your driving. Okay, it's not really a big problem. But they line up along the road, waiting for their friends to arrive. I tend to just go in the car park. It just makes life a lot simpler. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be driving into the car park, collect my parking ticket and pay €1 or €2 at most, I would think, for the privilege of parking in the car park. And it's all undercover, so we don't get wet while we're loading up the cars. So it's much more efficient. A bit of a traffic jam coming up. I don't know what's going on here. Slow down. One thing I have noticed is just over Easter there's been a big increase in the number of cars on the road. It's got a lot busier, and I don't know if that's due to people being here and hiring cars. Hiring cars is a big issue at the moment. There is a shortage of hire cars in Mallorca, and consequence of that is that prices have shot up, and people have written to me saying how expensive car hire seems to be. Somebody said it was 4 or 5 times what he'd been paying back in 2018-19, and I read in the paper today where they said it was a 300% increase. So if you're hiring a car, you need to really shop around and to find the best sorts of prices. And you might be faced with this, lots of other cars on the road, so very busy. Don't know what's going on. Another thing car related that I read in the news today, there's a problem with driving licenses. So the rule is, if you live in Spain, as I do, if you're a resident in Spain, then you have to have a Spanish driving license. And while Spain and the UK was in the European Union, then it was just a matter of bring your driving license, present it, and it would automatically be exchanged for a Spanish driving license. Well, with Brexit, that all ended. But the Spanish system didn't seem to work very well, and a lot of people didn't manage to get it done in time. If they were registered, then there shouldn't be an issue, except the 30th of this month is the cut-off date for your British license. If you've got a British license, and even if you've registered, then after the 30th of this month and you're a resident, you're not allowed to drive in Spain. So people have been told, just go and take a driving test, because that's what you've got to do. So anybody new coming to the island, if you decide you want to retire to Mallorca, or you want to come and work in Mallorca, and if you want to drive, then from now on you've got to do a driving test. And that's the theory and the practical. Theory test can be done in English, so not so bad. Some of the rules are a little bit different, some of the signs are a little bit different, so you need to do a little bit of revision on that, read the book, and then some of their techniques of driving are a little bit different than the UK as well, particularly roundabouts. Roundabouts are something use the outside lane all the time, go all the way round on the outside lane, and that's very much the norm. At least here it is in Mallorca. You look at their Spanish highway code, more or less it's the same as ours, but it's not the way they're taught in the driving schools, how they do it in the driving test even. And the traffic's more or less grinding to a halt, which is very unusual. We speeded up a little bit and now it's sort of slowed down a lot. Hopefully I've given myself plenty of time. The flight should have just landed, but they've got two little ones with them, so they've got to get off the plane. That's not going to be very quick. And then once they're off the plane, they've got to go through the passport controls, and they've got to pick up the baggage. They've had a checked-in bag, so they've got to go and pick that up, wait for that to get out. I think we'll be okay. Cars are speeding up again, so I think it might be just volume of traffic. The rain is still coming down, and the clouds, I thought earlier on it was brightening up. The weather forecast said there should be some brighter spells during the day here, but no blue sky up there. So I'm just coming up to the airport turn off now, so that's looking okay. Traffic's moving a lot more freely again. Strange. So now I'm on the slip road just going into the airport. And the rain is still coming down. There's more rain actually now than there was earlier on. I got in the wrong lane. Terminal. Here, just waiting so that they can go into the pickup area, because if you go into the pickup area you still have to take a parking ticket, and you then have to put it in the machine, and if you stay more than the 10 or 15 minutes you're allowed, you pay quite a lot of money there, I think. But I'm getting into the regular multi-story, so I just take a ticket and then I'll just pay for it as I for a change. It's actually read my number plate correctly. Usually they make a mistake. into the airport, it's obviously going to be a bit dark here. The ground floor and the first floor are for hire cars, so you can't actually park on those. So you've got to go up. I'm not sure whether I can go in on the second floor, so I'm up just to the first floor now, and that's all barricaded off, so I couldn't possibly go in that way. Just coming up to the second floor. And that one says there's 181 places, so I can go in there. It's a very clever system now, so part of it does look as though it's for rent-a-cars, but I'll avoid that and just go to the terminal. And they've got a system of here where we've got red and green lights to indicate where there is parking. So it just helps you to find the parking spaces. So it says I'll go down here. And have a look to see if I can find a parking space. I'm just walking into the airport now, and it is a bit wet underfoot. Cafes and bars are open here. Just spin the camera around so you can see what's going on out here. See, I've parked in the main car park, and I can walk underneath here, so if it is raining, it is still raining, then I can dry. So just taking a minute or two to walk into the airport, and we'll see if they've arrived safely. Just on the final approach now, on the moving walkway here to go into the terminal, and as I go in, obviously I'm going to have to put my face mask in because it's an indoor area. So nearly there. So I've got a mask on now, and I've just been looking at the arrivals board, and they arrived just 2 minutes late, so pretty much an on-time flight, given that they took off a little bit late. And I just wait here now for them to come through, except my glasses are steaming up, so I can't see a thing. Masks on though. Anita's really missing this, so hopefully I'll catch them coming through on the camera so she can see it. But obviously she did really want to be here with me to greet them and then to come out in the car with them. But she didn't fit in, so she's had to stay and help with lunch. Serena's just sent me a message to say that they're coming out in a second or two, so very exciting. And here they come. Ah, here they are. Yeah, good to see you. Let's go say hello to Mummy and Savannah and Leon. Ah!
Hi, Grandad.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm good. Hello. How are you doing? Hey.
It's been a long time.
Absolutely has. All arrived safely.
We're all here.
Right. So we arrived back safely, and we're just in time for the paella. And look at that for a paella.